With all the clutter and chaos around me, I wake up in the morning already feeling defeated. How many of you wish all your clutter and crap would just disappear? I know I do. But all this stuff didn't come into our living spaces overnight, so it's not going to leave overnight either. We need to look at our dysfunctional habits that got us into this situation, and we need to replace those dysfunctional habits with healthy ones. Now, adopting a new habit is challenging for anyone, compulsive hoarder or not. A lot of the books I read on addressing compulsive hoarding say to start with a small surface area, like clearing the items from 1/4 of your kitchen table. I tried it. I didn't get very far. And I certainly wasn't able to maintain whatever I had cleared. What's helped my mindset more in this early stage is clearing and cleaning my kitchen sink and setting the goal of doing that every night before I go to bed. Whether I realize it or not, starting my day off by facing a sink full of dirty dishes was a surefire way to feel like a failure. When I first started this new habit, I'd wake up to the empty, clean kitchen sink and I had to do a double take, like, what the? Who snuck in here and did that? I didn't even remember that I had cleared and cleaned the sink the night before. Seeing that surprise, I felt a little burst of energy and, dare I say, joy. I really recommend starting with your kitchen sink for a couple reasons. The items that end up in the sink are pretty consistent. Dishes, flatware, pots and pans. Washing and putting away the dishes is a repetitive task with familiar items. So we don't have to make a lot of new decisions in the process. And let's face it, making decisions is problematic for us. This is how hard it can be for me to make even a basic decision. I'm at the grocery store for brown sugar, and I can't decide whether to buy light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. So I buy one of each and mix them together. Now, by comparison, if I take on the stacks of paperwork on my kitchen table, those items are probably varied and require different decisions for each item. Like if it's a magazine or a bill or a newsletter or a catalog or a bank statement, each of those items will require me to make a new decision for that specific piece of paperwork. That's when I can get overwhelmed and give up. Eventually, yes, we need to deal with those stacks of paper and make those decisions. But for now, let's take on a baby step task involving fewer decisions. That way we can feel the benefit of success and experience adopting a new healthy habit. Feeling that success on an ongoing basis will help motivate us to take on more. Decision making is one of our weakest muscles, so we need to slowly build and strengthen it. You don't run a full marathon after being a couch potato for years. You work your way up to it, right? If we start with a task that requires a lot of difficult decision making, there's a higher chance that we won't succeed, and then we feel worse about ourselves. Instead of getting a sense of hope, we feel more despair and just give up. We need to start with something small where we have a good chance of succeeding and building confidence. I read something yesterday that really resonated with me. Motivation follows action. We usually focus on getting motivated to take action, and that still applies. I want to improve my life, so I'm motivated to start taking on my clutter. But I also get motivated after I've taken action and felt the improvement. The action makes me motivated to continue taking action. Another reason I encourage starting with the kitchen sink is because you're likely to see it every day. Not only does it require you to exercise that new habit on a regular basis, but you see the results daily. You feel a sense of accomplishment. You build confidence. See it every day, feel it every day. We're trying to exercise new muscles in our mind. Just like going to the gym, we need to get into a routine. It takes time to adopt a new habit for anyone. Now, do I adhere to this new habit of cleaning out and wiping down the kitchen sink every night? No, I won't lie. Some nights I'm too exhausted, but most nights I do complete this task, and the next morning I reap the benefits. And on the occasions when I don't, almost always the next morning I take care of it. We're human, and we're going to slip now and then. That's a given. The key is to not let the one slip turn into more and more slips, Because the longer we allow ourselves to stray from healthy habits and routine, the more challenging it's going to be to get back to them. It's like when we gain weight. Say we overeat during the holidays and put on an extra 5 pounds. It'll be much easier for us to lose the extra weight if we address it sooner rather than waiting until we put on 15 pounds or 20 pounds. Another thing to remember about slipping, be kind to yourself. We have a choice in how we react to a slip up. One way is to beat ourselves up over it, which I'm sure a lot of us do. I can't even keep the kitchen sink clean for a day. What's wrong with me? I'm a failure. Or we can be kind to ourselves and ask, what can I learn from this? Change is more likely to happen in a supportive environment, and we need to support ourselves. When I didn't succeed in clearing out and wiping down the sink before I went to bed, I asked myself, why? Why didn't I do it? What can I learn from this? I realized that often the reason I didn't clear and clean the sink before bedtime was because I was tired and there were simply too many dishes in the sink for me to deal with in that state. Letting the dishes build up over the course of the day left me with a lot of dishes to deal with when I was most tired. So during the day, when I saw dishes in the sink, I started taking a few minutes to deal with them. Sometimes not even all of them, maybe just one or two. That way, by the end of the night, there weren't so many dishes to tackle and it was much more doable. I know people who never let dishes sit in the sink. They deal with them ASAP after using them. I'm not there yet, and you know what? I may never get there. I probably won't get there. But for now, I have improved from where I was, and I'll gladly take that. So I hope you'll try this exercise, and please don't aim to clean your sink perfectly. Perfectionism is a huge driving force behind hoarding behavior. We aim for perfect, but there's not enough time to achieve perfect, so we don't do anything at all. What's better? A sink full of dirty dishes that we have the best intentions of cleaning perfectly later, or an empty sink that's cleaned good enough? So go clear and clean your kitchen sink just good enough, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.